Okay, on today's feature now, we've got my next special guest. We have William Hanson talking to me about etiquette. Greetings, William.
Hello, thank you very much for having me, Dan.
That's great. We're discussing today about etiquette, which is basically good manners, common courtesy.
Yes, indeed, and it affects all of us. If we interact with other people, there's an etiquette for it.
Yeah, and how has society changed since when I suppose you and I were growing up, from the 70s, 80s to today? Have you seen the shift towards how people behave?
Uh, Completely. I mean, etiquette does always evolve. If we were still behaving like they did in sort of Regency
Yeah,
England, we probably wouldn't get very far today. So it does shift, and of course, the biggest shift has been over the last year with the inevitable. And along aside from all the obvious bad points, what it has done is it's forced us to come together, probably to watch more
yeah,
TV and to discuss it, and that's been the shared experience because there have been so few others, with obviously live entertainment
yeah,
pretty much decimated.
yeah,
So we have been watching TV together. We have become like Gogglebox, where we're all
yeah.
crowded around the television discussing
Yeah,
it.
multimedia world. Back in the days where we used to sit around the table to eat our dinner, and families now have TV dinners on laps, and seem to have
Mm.
lost that value of families not getting around the table. Mum calling you down, dinner's ready. So onwards now. How has this lockdown? Has it been an ideal time for families to recapture some traditional values, spend more time with each other?
Yes, I think it has been. I think we've got to take the positives where we can. But as with everything, especially when we're in close proximity to other people without much of a break, we have to absolutely make sure that our etiquette and courtesy is tip top, so we don't rub each other up the wrong way.
Yeah, sure. And we have some talking points here, some bullet points from the survey by Free, I believe. And
Hmm.
when you mentioned we gathering around the TV, what can you say about shouting at the answer while watching a quiz show? Can that be a pet hate?
Well, it can be a pet hate, and some households will be quite competitive, so they want people to shout it out to see who gets there first, whereas others sort of like to watch quiz shows in glacial silence. So again, you adapt to the household that you are in.
Yeah. And another point here. Um, when you're watching a film and your friend spoils the ending for you.
Yes. Whether they are really ending for you because you're watching it with them in
Yeah,
the room, or maybe you're chatting to them on a group chat, or just a direct chat with them, that can be slightly irritating. So my what I've said for three in my guide is that if you are watching something that is on at the moment, something that is a new television program, then you need to wait at least 7 days before you start
yeah,
discussing it. And even then, a nice sort of "Are you watching such and such, Dan?"
yeah,
question to your friend before you go into it is key.
yeah. I going to ask. Of course, we live in a world so accessible now. All TV series are like pre-released before they were even piloted on said channel, and some people just like to watch it week by week, the suspense, and
Mm.
whilst other people can pretty much watch the whole entire series on catch up, binge watch.
Yes, exactly, and the way, as you rightly say, the way that we consume television has changed, and so the etiquette changes to adapt along with that. And so again, asking people, are you watching such and such show every week, or where are you up to, is always a good way of
Yeah,
putting it, because some people will have watched all 6 episodes in a
yeah.
night, others will want to split it over 6 weeks.
And can you tell me, William, why don't people like surprises anymore? People don't have. There's no mystery now. When I always say to them about doing a radio show like mystery guests, they always want to know who I have on my show, and we seem to kind of lose in that mystery. It's nice to have a surprise. And what's coming up next on that radio show or TV show.
Yes, well, I think it's part of the sort of the on-demand we need everything now
Yeah,
culture that we now have, and people aren't necessarily able to wait as much. And sometimes you can use a second screen to find out what happens in the next episode, or when the next episode is on. And again, you're going to adapt the technology to your own
yeah.
needs.
Do you think as Brits are an impatient nation?
Yes, I think so. I mean, I think that's sort of any human
Yeah,
can be impatient from whatever country, but
yeah,
probably in Britain
yeah.
we can be quite impatient.
It's really interesting because I have to agree with you there from a personal perspective. But when you look at queues, I think we still hold the title in the world for standing in the queue and waiting our turn.
I completely agree. It's a queue, as we know, is a very democratic thing. It's terribly fair, and lots of other countries do struggle with
Yeah,
it. So we can hold our heads up high
yeah,
and say actually we're leading the way
yeah.
still with that.
That's good. And back onto TV. Courtesy now. Another factor, putting your phones on silent. There's nothing worse than a ringtone going off during a dramatic TV scene, especially in the cinema as well.
Well, yeah. Anyway, yes, exactly. Whether you're in a cinema theatre or just sitting on your sofa at home with friends, family, and loved ones, then having your phone ping and pop away and buzz can be quite irritating. So, what I've said for this guide for 3 is that make sure that your phone, your noises are off before
Yeah,
you start watching TV with others, and turn your screen brightness right
yeah.
down.
That's good advice, and it's not a bad thing putting your phone on silent because not everyone wants to be disturbed at the same time, And onto this one, don't assume everyone is watching at the same time. When you're in a
Mm-mm.
live chat, check everyone is up to date before spoiling the spoilers, I guess.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yes, don't flag that something's about to happen. If you know that everybody's up to speed, then that may be one thing. But if in doubt, just hold back, hang fire.
Yeah, and what can you tell me finally about the 7 day grace? Um,
Yeah. So if something is on sort of now a new program, for example, I would wait at least 7 days before you flag anything or just dissect the program with friends, and even then ask them. And then if they are watching it or they are up to date, then you can continue.
yeah,
But
great.
if it's a show that's been on, maybe it was on 30 years ago, and you're only just catching up with it, you don't necessarily have to wait
Yeah,
7 days,
yeah,
because if they haven't watched it by now, that's their own fault.
that's that's good advice. And is there anything else you may like to add to the interview? In case we
No,
missed.
well, I mean, obviously, a good way to catch up with lots of different television, if you don't have as much time to watch it, is watching programs like Gogglebox, and you can watch everyone else's reaction and see highlights of programs that have been on over the last
Yeah,
7 days.
and I understand Gogglebox that's got a new series starting just the weekend. Yeah.
Yes, it starts tonight at
Yes.
9 o'clock.
Yeah. Great. So some good things happening on the in the world of entertainment at the moment. So, but just be kind of aware of people, your surroundings, and how your kind of courtesy towards them. I guess is the point of today's segment. William Hanson, it's been great talking to you.
Dan, thank you very much indeed.
Wonderful.